are legit NFL contenders after 6 weeks of the season. Key, I will start with you. Baltimore Ravens, legit NFL title contenders, 0, 50, or to the max?
I'm going to say it's 50. They've got to clean up some things, and I know they just signed Deshaun Jackson to give them some speed on the perimeter. They just got to clean up some stuff. Lamar's got to do a better job of protecting the football late in the fourth quarters. The defense has to start to do the things that they did when he first took over, play lights out to give him some help. He's still wicked. I'm not going to count him out. That's why I'm giving him a 50.
You know what? I'm still at to the max for this. My preseason pick was the Ravens win the Super Bowl. I know at this moment that does not look good, but I'm not budging off it, not yet. Now, look, if the Bills pick up Christian McCaffrey, it's a wrap. But as of right now, I'm sticking to my guns, so I'm going to the max. In spite of how they've looked. But by the way, if you make slightly better, don't make a bad decision twice in the fourth quarter. Right now, they're sitting, instead of at 3-3, they're sitting at 5-1, right? So I'm still at to the max.
All right, the Minnesota Vikings, best record in the NFC North right now at 5-1. Key, Vikings as legit title contenders, 0, 50, or to the max?
I think it's to the max. And early on, I was not on the Minnesota Viking train because, Kirk Cousins cool, but I just think overall they have something going. You are what your records say you are. You're 5-1. Okay, I don't give a damn who you played, how you played it. Oh, I don't care. You're sitting at 5-1, and you got 5 wins in your back pocket. And if you continue to stack up wins and you get that first, second round bye, you're in a better position than anybody. So I'd say to the max.
I'm going to go 50 because in the end, I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. Not that he can't win a Super Bowl. I think he could. But in order for him to win a Super Bowl, I think it has to be perfect around him. When I look around the league, I see better teams than the Vikings. They're good, but I see teams I'm like, I like them a little bit more. So I got to go 50.
All right, well, speaking of teams that have made surprise starts right now, sitting at 5-1, my New York Giants, Key, to the max, whether or not the Giants are legit title contenders. What you got?
I would say they're 50. I like everything that they're doing. They need to show me a little bit more because, as the season wears on, things get a little tougher. Defensive coordinators understand how to stop people. Offensive coordinators understand how to expose your defense. I like them at 50. Let's see what happens before the trade deadline, if they can go find a receiver or something. But, hey, again, here's another team at 5-1. They got 5 wins in their back pocket. They could be a 10-win team easily when you look at their schedule.
The only reason I'll go 50 instead of 0 on the Giants, and I'm a huge Giants fan, I'll go 50 because I love the decisions Daniel Jones is making late in games. In the fourth quarter, he just outplayed in 2 consecutive fourth quarters Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. If you look at the decisions he made and the plays he made, you go, yup, he played quarterback better than those 2 guys. So I know he's not as dynamic as that. They don't have the receivers on the outside, blah, blah, blah. I get it. That's why, barely at 50. But from what I saw there, and then Kayvon Thibodeau's getting better penetration now, and to the quarterback, and the Evan Neal's coming along on the offensive line. I'll barely hit a 50, but I'm at a 50.
All right, we're playing to the max right here on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. We're looking at NFL teams and whether or not they're legitimate title contenders. The next team on the list, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, currently sitting at 3-3. Key, 0, 50 to the max for the Bucs still being title contenders.
I'm going to stay on 50 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've got some issues that they've got to clean up. Tom Brady is starting to look like a shell of himself from the Tom Brady that we all know and we all adore at the quarterback position. Look, a lot of that is contributed to injuries. We hear Todd Bowles talking about it as the head coach. Things have got to get fixed. He's got to understand how to get back to calling the defense the right way. Guys have to get healthy. I'm not ready to count them out. That's why it's not 0. It's at 50. But I'm also not ready to put them at the Supermax because they got a lot of issues that need to get cleaned up.
I'm going to go to the max on Brady and the Bucs because he's going to get his appetite back eventually, right? Like, you know how that goes, Key. When you're first going through it, it's hard to eat, it's hard to sleep, but eventually you start to learn how to move forward and deal with things. He's going to get his appetite back. He's going to put a little that bulk back on. And when you look at the weapons on this offense, like I think about the Niners, Key. If their defense is healthy, Jimmy G's nice and steady, and he can make a deep playoff run. I look at the Bucs the same way, only instead of Jimmy G, it's Tom Brady. So I got to go to the max. I think they're live in the NFC.
All right, let's look at the Los Angeles Chargers, Key. 4-2 right now. To the max, whether or not the Chargers are legit title contenders. What you got?
To the max. It's to the max. I think they are legit title contenders with one exception. Brandon Staley, the head coach. If he continues to do things that are head-scratching, they're going to be at home with you and me. Or better yet, I'll be in Arizona watching, and you'll be at home or whatever, but he'll be with me, I'm assuming, walking around, shaking hands, and talking about what a great season they had.
Hey, apparently Slater can come back later in the year. That'd be huge for Justin Herbert, blindside protection. I'll go 50, though, because of what you identified, Key. Their talent is to the max. They're a year away to me. I'm going to go 50, but they got a ton of talent.
All right, this is an interesting one here. The New York Jets, to the max, whether or not the Jets are legit title contenders. 0-50 or to the max. What you got, Key?
I got them at 50. And here's why. Because if they continue to grow as a young nucleus and Joe Douglas put this team together, when you talk about Quinn Williams on the defensive side, Sauce Gardner did what I asked him to do, which is shut guys down. I wanted to see it. He showed me up and said, hey, I can take care of business. Take a look at me right now. Garrett Wilson going across the middle. Then you mix in a young quarterback and Zach Wilson. I need him to do a little bit more at the quarterback spot. If he could do a little bit more, other than complete 10 passes, they'll have an opportunity. Teams like this are dangerous because they don't know any better. They just go out there and ball.
I'm with Key. I'm at a 50, and I would say, are they ahead of schedule? They're on schedule, but the schedule doesn't have them winning the Super Bowl this year. The schedule has them maybe next year making a real run. So I think they're on schedule. I'm on a 50.
Well, remember, it's legit title contender, not Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, right. But to me, that'll be next year and this year. So I'm at a 50. I'm with you. I'm at 50.
All right, well, let's look at the team that the Jets just beat, the Green Bay Packers. To the max, Key, as the Packers being legit title contenders. 0-50 or to the max. What you got?
I think it's to the max for me. And I know they got a lot of issues just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they're going to address those issues. Anytime you have a Hall of Fame quarterback zipping that ball like Aaron Rodgers, you're going to figure out how to fix it. Joe Barry on the defensive side, he's going to figure out how to fix it. And take it for what it's worth. I'd rather see them be 5, 6, or 7 seed, go on the road, have a little adversity, maybe a home game, maybe not, maybe all road games, because they've tried it the other way, and it has not worked. So let's go with a little adversity instead of luxury.
Totally with Key to the max.
New England Patriots, right? To the max, Key, whether or not they're title contenders. 0-50 or to the max. What you got?
So here's the interesting for me. I'm going to give them a 50. I'm not going to give them to the max. And the reason I'm giving them a 50 is because Dr. Z is at the quarterback position for me right now. I like it. I like what he's able to do. He's doing everything that they ask him to do, something that Mac Jones wasn't doing earlier in the season. They're running the ball a little bit better now and he's underneath center. The defense is playing a little bit better now and he's underneath center. But Bill Belichick is on the damn sideline. Let's see what happens against the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets when they play them. And then when you ask me this question a couple Thursdays from now when we run this back, let's see where they're at, and then I can say if it's super or if it's 0.
Yeah, 50. Same, 50.
All right, last team on the list here for to the max, looking at legit title contenders. The Cincinnati Bengals, Key. 0-50 or to the max, whether or not the Bengals are legit title contenders.
I think they're at a 50. I don't think that they're at a 0. I don't think they're at a super max. This team has gotten off to a slow start. But when you look at it, the games that they were winning a year ago, they're not winning this year. The things that they did a year ago, they're not doing today. And I know that they went in and beat up on a depleted New Orleans Saints team. For that being said, they are at a 50 for me. The AFC, I think, for the way that they're playing, is just too tough. If this was last year, then I might have them at a supermax.
Come on, Key. Where am I going with this?
Oh, Joe Burrow, he's wearing a mink coat and he has diamond earrings and glasses and everything else.
So what am I giving him?
A supermax.
To the max. Joe Burrow. Come on, Joe Thorough. He's got Jamar Chase. They haven't even started to play yet. They're at 3-3. They could easily be a lot better than that. One thing